The best companies are in business to do good. It is in Patagonia's motto, quote, "We're in business to save the planet." It is in their philanthropy, over $145 million supporting hundreds of environmental not-for-profits around the world. It is in their supply chain, it is in their products. Their mission has always been, build the best product, but cause no unnecessary harm. Use business to inspire and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. In 2019, CEO Rose Marcario announced the company is giving 100% of their tax cuts to support environmental causes. For these reasons, and for so many more, it is our honor to present the 2019 Jefferson Award for Outstanding Service by a Corporation to Patagonia. Congratulations. Thank you. Here tonight to accept the award is Avi Garbow. Avi is a nationally recognized environmental lawyer and advocate who served as the EPA's longest-serving general counsel. With decades of experience in tackling the most critical dangers to our land, air, and water, Avi brings strategic leadership and vision to Patagonia's compelling environmental advocacy platform. As Avi sharpens Patagonia's voice, please welcome Avi to the stage. Thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations again. Thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody. I leaned over to my wife after the first award to Kristen, and I said that I wish I didn't follow that. And then the second award came, and I realized soon that there's really no good place to be in this agenda. But let me just thank Multiplying Good, everybody who's associated with the Jefferson Awards. Congratulations to all of the recipients, but mostly it's an honor to be among people who cherish public service and who do the work to multiply the good for people in this country and throughout. Our founder, Yvon Chouinard, said, to do good, you actually have to do something. And care and compassion without action is just not enough. Public service is not a sentiment, it's a calling, it's a call to action. And we need to remind ourselves that our heart is a muscle that only gets stronger when we activate it. Now, as you heard, Patagonia is in business to save our home planet. That is our company's mission. And I think of it as less an expression of who we are. Ultimately, that's really not so important. It's an expression of what we do. And it's a mission that everybody at Patagonia is invested in. I got a call a couple weeks ago. I just joined as Patagonia's environmental advocate. And I got a call from a gentleman who works in our IT department. And he reached out, he said, "I'm delighted you're here. I want to figure out how I can help us in our mission." And he's now working on making sure his children's elementary school in the Los Angeles area is sustainable. But it's an example from top to bottom that everybody in our company really has to find a way to invest in saving our planet. And while we strive for perfection, I think everybody does, we don't wait for it. Because the truth is, of course, that it's never going to come. It may be what moves us, but it is not what holds us back. And when your mission is to save the planet, you need partners. I thought of the Avengers. You need kind of a group when you've got kind of a lofty goal. And that's why Yvon Chouinard helped co-found 1% for the Planet, in which Patagonia has given $100 million or more over the years to environmental groups. It's why in 2018 alone, over 600 new businesses and individuals also joined 1% for the Planet, again, giving back to the communities and contributing through the grassroots network of environmental causes. It's why, as you just heard, our CEO decided when Patagonia received the $10 million tax rebate check in effect that it didn't need, we gave it to help environmental causes to deal with their climate crisis. It's why, if you go to our website, you'll see a new platform, Patagonia Action Works, that's designed to connect you to the environmental organizations in your locality so you can multiply good. It's why Patagonia was the first California company to be B certified, B standing for benefit, for our workers, for our communities, for the environment. Now, many of you have heard of the phrase, speak truth to power. And I imagine we see leaders and individuals, and certainly our youth nowadays, marching in the streets, speaking out, demanding action. And we'll hear a little bit of that today. All of these are inspirations. This is what kind of is done for the greater good. But it can't only be courageous individuals who speak truth to power. Companies must summon the same courage. And if you are complacent, whether you are an individual or a business, you are complicit. And that's why Patagonia stood up this past year for public lands when we sued the administration when it tried to take away thousands of acres of our national monuments. It's why we endorsed for the very first time political candidates who stood up for the environment and the integrity of our public spaces. It's why we will not remain silent when this administration rolls back our health and public safety protections. And it is why we will fight for real and immediate action to address climate change, because our business is to save the home planet. Now, for all of us here, I suggest that our North Star should not be victories. It should be results. Because along the way, we're going to take risks, we're going to learn to accept losses, and we are going to renew our purpose every day. And tonight, for me, is a moment of renewal, where we can go back, gather ourselves, pat ourselves on the back, and start the day anew with new action. Now, I want to end with a moment of inspiration for me. We're days away from Father's Day, and what moved me as a young child was my father reading to me the Lorax. And everybody's probably got a book or a person or a song or a moment that inspired them as they kind of traveled their life's path. And for me, in many ways, it was reading the words of Dr. Seuss in the lap of my father of the Lorax. And towards the end of the book, there's a phrase where the child is sitting in an empty well, and the Onceler, you should all read this book, by the way, the Onceler says, unless somebody like you cares an awful lot, nothing will get better. It will not. That would have been a great message in and of itself. But then Dr. Seuss hits us with the last page. So, he says, plant a forest, clean the water, clean the air. The point is, so do something. And that, I think, really is what multiplying good is all about. It's people like you, the organizations that you represent. It's people at my company at Patagonia who wake up every day with the idea of doing something for the greater good that really makes multiplying good something that we can all be proud of. So on behalf of all of our employees in Ventura, in Reno, in all of the cities where we have stores, on behalf of our customers and our grassroots partners, thank you all so much.